Give me the camera. Oh.
Deep in the backcountry, experienced hikers heard cracking branches and saw a hulking figure moving through the brush. Assuming it was a bear, they stayed calm until the creature rose on two legs and stared back. What followed next was captured on camera, and it left experts scrambling for answers. The fear is real. No shaky cam, no overacting, just genuine surprise followed by an instinct to flee. A shadow lingers just out of focus, an unknown creature haunting the frame. The man filming does his best to avoid revealing the beast, even though he has multiple chances to capture it clearly. The animal, whatever it is, seems to remain close by for reasons no one can explain.
Opportunities to do so, since this unknown animal seems to stay around the area for some unknown reason. But despite his effort, that doesn't stop someone else from zooming in to see what it really is. And we can easily see that it's an ape.
Watch yourself. The camera shifts nervously, avoiding a clear shot. Then, another viewer zooms in, peeling back the blur to reveal something unmistakable. An ape. Imagine being near such a wild animal. Few would linger. Most would want a thick barrier between themselves and the creature, a clear glass wall to feel safe. Here, faint reflections appear in what looks like a glass window, caught twice, the photographer's outline visible just ahead.
I don't know about you, but if I was anywhere near an ape in the wild, I sure as hell wouldn't be hanging around for long. I think I would need, something like a thick glass wall between me and the animal for me to feel secure. And, as a matter of fact, it's interesting that we can see here the reflection of the photographer in a glass window right in front of him.
The backdrop is telling. A painted sky, a staged setting, not nature. Nearby, distant traffic hums faintly, pulling us back to reality. Critics call this a hoax, pointing to the staged environment and reflections. Others say the raw footage's awkwardness is what lends it believability.
And also here. And you would think they would have painted a more convincing-looking sky. All of this, plus the sound of nearby traffic, tells us the obvious. The apes have captured a photographer and put him into a zoo for all of the visiting apes to gawk at.
But the facts are clear. This is not an ape roaming free in the wild. Instead, the roles are reversed. The ape holds the captive, and the photographer is trapped inside a zoo, displayed for the creature's curious gaze. No chase, no roar, just silence and the unnerving sense of being toyed with. It began like any other hike, quiet footsteps, shifting light through Georgia's mountain trees. But in the middle of that silence, something moved. Watch yourself. In just 17 seconds of handheld footage, a large upright figure crosses between the trees. No frantic motion, no effort to hide. It walks with calm, heavy purpose, tall, broad, and dark against the forest. The couple behind the camera barely speaks. They don't chase, they don't zoom. The moment passes, and the forest swallows the figure whole. This clip didn't need narration. It didn't try to convince. That's what made it unsettling. There's a rawness in how the creature moves. Its long stride, arms swaying naturally, navigating the underbrush with ease. Skeptics claim it's a man in a suit, but on rough terrain there's no stumble, no shift in balance. Others argue it could be a bear, yet the posture is unmistakably bipedal. No lurch, no drop to all fours, just a steady walk forward, as if it had done this before. The Georgia mountains aren't new to sightings. Locals whisper of heavy footfalls at dusk, of tree knocks echoing through the canyons. This brief encounter adds another layer to those stories, not as proof, but as a reminder. The camera didn't flinch. The figure didn't run. For 17 seconds, two worlds overlapped, human and something else. There's no clear answer, no second angle, no dramatic conclusion, just a fleeting silhouette and the questions it left behind. And maybe that's the most believable part. The footage is short, just 16 seconds. But what it captures has reignited an old question. Is something still walking the remote wilds of Idaho? Watch yourself. A tall figure strides between the trees. The camera holds steady just long enough to make out movement. Upright, wide-shouldered, and dark against the lighter brush. It doesn't look staged. There's no fumbling, no quick zoom to dramatize it. Just a clean shot of something walking, not rushing, not hiding, but moving, as if it belongs there. The clip sparked debate almost instantly. To some, it's definitive. The clearest look yet at a creature too long dismissed. To others, it's too good to be real. But what stands out here isn't just the figure, it's the setting. This is Idaho's backcountry. Sparse, rugged, and far from crowds. A place where encounters go unreported, where stories are passed quietly around campfires and never written down. Enhancing the frames reveals no obvious costume seams, no mask lines. The arms are long and hang naturally. The stride is wide and measured, not exaggerated, not theatrical. Skeptics suggest a man in a suit, but suits don't move like this. And if it was a hoax, why stop at just 16 seconds? Why risk exposure with a single shot and no follow-up? What makes this clip unsettling isn't what it shows, it's what it doesn't. There's no reaction from the filmer, no commentary, no panic. Just quiet recording, then nothing. That absence of drama is what gives the moment weight. The Idaho wilderness has always carried legends, strange tracks, sudden silences, the feeling of being watched. This clip doesn't answer those stories, but it echoes them. No tricks, no big reveal, just a shadow slipping through the trees and a question that refuses to go away. A musher's scream cuts through the Alaskan silence, not from injury, but from something much deeper. In the snow-laced backcountry near the Yukon River, dog teams have gone missing. What returns is scattered gear, broken sleds, and one unforgettable story.
Yeah, it don't look like we're going much further. We're getting ready to meet up with a dog musher named Warren. Down here, I guess. Supposedly, he has a more recent encounter with a Bigfoot-type creature that he wants to tell us.
The creature the locals whisper about isn't new. They call it the Yukon howler, a territorial, towering beast rumored to patrol these trails when winter locks the land in silence. The team from Alaska Monsters arrives under cover of snowfall, responding to claims of a musher nearly attacked.
I want to see what the hell he got on camera.
Visibility's good, like I said. Dogs are doing good, making good time.
Look, they're starting to act crazy now.
They are. Right there. Right there. There it is.
That sucker's huge.
I mean, look at those trees are 10 feet high, and this thing is above them.
His dogs fled. His tent collapsed. What remains are deep gouges in frozen bark and massive tracks spaced unnaturally far apart. Snow hides many truths, but some impressions can't be erased. They set up motion cameras and thermal gear, watching the tree line.
The moment that I saw Warren's video, it just blew me away, how big he was. You know, that it's got to be the Yukon howler.
What do you guys think? Is that consistent with what you've been
He
hearing?
wasn't scared of you, that's for damn sure.
That's the Yukon howler. We were lucky Warren was out here filming his dogs that day. It's really unusual to get a good, credible video footage of a Bigfoot.
Just past midnight, a low-frequency howl cuts through the forest. It doesn't echo. It vibrates. Moments later, a dark form appears in the distance, upright and fast, weaving through trees like it's been there all along. No crashing branches, no hesitation. Before they can track it, the team's camp is pelted with stones, not falling from trees, but thrown with intent.
I don't know. Looking around here, there's an old dog sled, there's lanterns, there's some cook pots. Looks to me like it's an abandoned mushers camp. Wonder where the entrance is.
Not here.
We're in Zone 13 of the Alaska Triangle, and we're going after a Bigfoot known as the Yukon howler. The Yukon howler is reported to be anywhere from 8 to 12 feet tall, 800 to 1,000 pounds.
One slams against a metal sled post. No eyes are seen, just pressure, just warning. The term Yukon howler isn't television fiction. For generations, First Nations communities have described tall, silent watchers in these woods. Creatures that whistle, throw rocks, and vanish into shadow without a sound. What the team witnessed that night aligns with those stories.
It went across the flats, clearly went across those and then went into the woods.
Okay. Now let's head up this way then.
I don't see no footprints or nothing.
Nah, and this stuff, it's melting so fast.
Yeah.
We're in real thick timber right here. There's a lot of moss on the ground, really can't track.
Skeptics were quick to call the encounter staged. But those who've worked the remote trails of Alaska know better. They've heard the same howl, seen dogs cower at the tree line. And they don't call it imagination.
We're looking around outside this nest, and all of a sudden we find one partial footprint. It's obvious to me this creature is big. That nest, or whatever you want to call it, that's fresh. You know, he's hanging right around this area. He's been here really recent.
Right.
Getting dark real quick.
They call it survival instinct. No dramatic finale, no clean conclusion, just a lingering sense that something had been watching them long before they arrived, and chose to let them leave. The fear is real. Think the Yukon howler's just another Bigfoot tale, or something entirely its own? Leave your thoughts below. Subscribe for more real encounters from the darkest edges of the map. The feeling was subtle at first, an uneasy presence, not the sound of gunfire, but the steady thrum of a helicopter overhead that wouldn't leave. A family's quiet afternoon in the woods, out target shooting with their kids. The father, mother, and children enjoy a simple pastime, the kind that feels ordinary and safe. The daughter takes her turn on the shotgun, the recoil snapping back against her shoulder, laughter filling the air. Yet above them, the helicopter circles, persistent, close enough to feel invasive.
Okay. Oh, nice. Close. Try.
You got it.
You gonna try the shotgun?
The family's light-hearted moments unfold. Encouragement, shots fired, kids reacting to the kicks of the weapon. But amid the casual scene, something moves beyond the edge of vision, a tall, dark figure weaving through the trees. At first, it's easy to dismiss. Trees sway, shadows shift. Yet on playback, that figure stands out, upright, swift, too deliberate to be animal or accident. When they uploaded the video to Mega Frightful, a small YouTube channel with just 64 subscribers, the caption was understated but haunting. My husband and I took our kids target shooting. A helicopter was over our heads the entire time, annoying us. Later, we noticed something that looked like Bigfoot running in the trees. We assumed the helicopter was hunting Bigfoot. Scary! No dramatization, no shaky camera tricks. Just raw footage of a family's day interrupted by an ominous presence. The helicopter's behavior is strange. It doesn't investigate the family but seems focused elsewhere, lingering as if tracking. Skeptics quickly weighed in, calling it coincidence or a misinterpretation of light and shadow. Critics cited the camera's graininess, suggesting the figure was a tree branch or an animal. But others felt the footage's simplicity lent it credibility. No flashy edits, no dramatic soundtrack, just a quiet glimpse into something unexplained. The woods fell silent behind the rotor blades, but the unease lingered. Was this just a chance encounter? Or something darker? Was the helicopter truly hunting the elusive creature? Or was it a coincidence? No chase, no roar, just silence, and the unnerving sense of being watched. What would you do if you were there? Could the mysterious figure really be Bigfoot? And if so, who was hunting whom? The fear is real. No shaky cam, no overacting, just genuine surprise followed by an instinct to flee.
My buddy Brian here, we're gonna walk into where we heard these noises. Now, again, I don't know, we're out here talking about Bigfoot, so that's kind of where my mind's going, but there is something making noise and moving around in these trees right here.
Dim forest light bleeds into darkness as two investigators press deeper into the wilderness of Utah's American Fork Canyon. Paranormal specialist Brian Whitesides and his partner Marcus are here for one reason. Bigfoot. The camera is shaky, the voice is tense, but the moment feels authentic. Not staged, just uncertain, charged, and unnerving. They move cautiously. Something is making noise in the trees.
There is trees that are freshly snapped right here. This is fresh, okay? Look at these broken, these things have just been broken off, and they've been broken off from up high, and they're laying down on here.
Then Marcus points out freshly snapped branches. Not fallen, snapped, from high up, with force. This is fresh, he mutters, and the mood shifts instantly. That's when they hear it. Movement on the rocks. Something heavy. Bipedal. There's something between those trees, he says, barely above a whisper.
This is the time of night where the light's really going to wreak havoc. Okay.
Okay, you know what?
Okay, we need to move.
Okay, we're gonna go.
We need to move.
The light is fading fast, and with every step, the woods grow darker. They try to hold their ground, but something snaps. We need to move, now, Marcus says, not out of dramatic flair, but a raw survival instinct. As the night closes in, they resort to a classic Bigfoot tactic, wood knocking. Brian smacks a stick against a tree, hoping to provoke a response. He gets one. A loud thud. Dirt shifts, shadow darts. They freeze, then sprint toward a clearing. The footage is jarring, filled with heavy breathing, and frantic light beams cutting through black. Then, near...
I think something's coming down there.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Point your light.
We need to go back out on the trail.
Yeah, we do.
Marcus says what everyone's thinking. I think something's coming down. A break in the trees opens into an eerie silence. But that silence is short-lived. Something crashes through the brush. They run.
Go, 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 go. I don't know what it was. Go. Go. The trail. Get out of here.
The footage ends not with clarity, but with chaos. After the adrenaline cools, they laugh off their fear. Sort of. Brian's shaky humor doesn't hide the tension. He admits, that night, we were all terrified.
The movement and the trees, and we were looking, and then there was something there. I don't know what it was.
You have to err on the side of safety.
Critics later called the whole thing staged. But 6 days after filming, a 12-year-old boy was dragged from a tent and killed by a brown bear in that exact campsite. Coincidence? Maybe, but that detail changed the tone from mockery to morbid curiosity. Both Brian and Marcus swear what they saw wasn't a bear. It moved upright, with dark brown and black hair. Almost human-like. Could it have been the same creature responsible for the tragic attack? Or did they mistake the predator for something more mythical? No chase, no roar, just silence, and the unnerving sense of being toyed with. Whether it was Bigfoot or something more explainable, this night left a mark. And in a canyon long whispered about in cryptid lore, unanswered questions still echo in the trees. Your turn. Have you ever felt watched in the woods? Do you believe what they saw was real, or just fear misinterpreted? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Idaho, late fall 2014. Two hunters head deep into the backcountry. No cell service, no roads, just thick forest and quiet. They're tracking deer, moving slowly through a remote section of wilderness. Watch yourself.
Give me the camera. Oh.
A figure steps into view, tall, upright, walking calmly along a ridge between the trees. It's distant but clear. The video is in high definition. There's no blur, no digital noise. Just a silhouette moving steadily, arms swinging low. At first, the hunters think it's a man, maybe another hunter. But there's no orange vest, no gear. And the way it walks, smooth, almost too smooth. The camera stays fixed. No panic, no fast zooms. The creature moves across the slope, not noticing or ignoring the presence of the hunters below. It never looks toward the camera. What stands out is the size. It's not just tall, but broad, thick through the shoulders, with long arms and a head that sits low without a visible neck, covered in dark uniform hair. One hunter whispers under his breath, but you don't hear fear, just disbelief. Watch yourself.
Come here. Where's my bow? Oh my God.
The creature disappears behind a tree and doesn't come back into view. It's gone. No loud crash, no running. Just quiet footsteps fading into the woods. The clip is short, only 20 seconds, but the quality makes it different from most sightings. It's not shot in panic. There's no shaky camera or screaming. Just two witnesses standing still, trying to make sense of what they're seeing.
I tripped. Oh my God, I tripped. What's that?
They later said they thought it was a bear at first, until it walked on two legs the entire time. And the stride was unlike anything they'd seen in the wild. Skeptics were quick to call it a hoax, a man in a suit. But the setting raises questions. Why stage something so far from civilization? No vehicles nearby, no trails. And in high definition, the suit, if it was one, would likely show seams or odd movement. It doesn't.
Give me the camera.
Many believe Idaho's backcountry holds more secrets than we know. The state is vast, rugged, and underpopulated. There are valleys where few people go, and ridges that may have never seen a human footprint. This video added fuel to a theory long discussed in cryptid circles, that Bigfoot isn't just surviving in these places, but moving through them, staying ahead of people by living far from our roads and signals.
I've never seen anything. Where's the record on this thing? Where's the... I want to watch it. Where's the thing? Here, let me see.
The clip remains unexplained. The hunters chose to remain anonymous, uploading the footage without names or locations. No desire for fame, just a need to share what they saw. In the end, it's a glimpse. Just one clear walk through the trees, captured in crisp video, and then gone. No confrontation, no roar, just a silent shape vanishing into the Idaho woods, leaving only questions behind. A still forest, no wind, no birdsong, just a sense of being watched. Then, from behind a downed tree, something stirs, not an animal fleeing, but a presence remaining still, observing.
You know, the bigger they are, and this is similar to what gorillas do as well. They find footprints. This is a beauty. I think this is a 4x12.
Sasquatch peeks just over the log, tracking movement. Captured by a New York-based Bigfoot research team, this moment shows more than just a blur. A dark figure with a heavy brow ridge and what appears to be a conical head quietly monitors the researchers. The footage is part of a broader compilation, over 150 videos, 10,000 photos, collected across North America. Tree breaks, twisted structures, and tracks measuring up to 13 inches long form a silent language in the woods. Much like gorillas, these signs define territory, warnings, and boundaries. Then comes the sound, not imagined, not random. Two sharp rock clacks echo through the Marble Mountain region. Not wood knocking, stone against stone, deliberate and alarming.
Again, I'm not running and stuff happens. Up this road, heading toward Paradise Lake. We have some banging. Can't really call it wood knocking. Sounds like two rocks being slammed together. 2 instances of it. Time check.
The researchers react with restraint. A controlled call blast, a tentative whoop. Something is up the trail, watching, waiting. Moments later, the climax, a Sasquatch in a concealed position, watching the group from behind the tree. The enhancement by user CXD4 stabilizes the video, revealing eye movement and a subtle turn of the head.
I'm ready.
Enhanced view, face turns, eyes shift. 2 eyes blink. The light reflects off a dark auburn cone-shaped head. It turns again, first at the trail, then directly toward the camera.
He gets within about 50 feet of one, and you can see right there, that shadow. It's right there, and there's the eye, and it's glowing because it has a tapetum in it, and it's blinking, and you can see it blink.
Blinking confirmed. It's not just hiding, it's tracking. 1 step ahead, a tactic used to monitor humans, never letting them get too close. Some of these creatures escort intruders out without ever revealing themselves fully. Reflective close, no chase, no roar, just silence and the unnerving sense of being toyed with. In these encounters, it's not what you see, it's what sees you. Sasquatch remains elusive not by accident, but by intent. And sometimes, just sometimes, we catch a glimpse before it disappears again into the shadow of the trees. It was an ordinary hike near Spokane's Downriver Park, a scenic trail where the Spokane River winds through dense woodland. The camera was steady, pointed toward the trees as sunlight filtered through the canopy. But something else was moving too, something no one saw until hours later. At first glance, it's easy to miss. In the upper right corner of the frame, a dark figure strides from left to right, tall, wide-shouldered, and walking upright. A shape that doesn't quite match the usual silhouettes of hikers or wildlife. Watch yourself. Uploaded under the handle, at Samantha 4950. The clip is only 57 seconds long, but it sent waves through the Bigfoot community. Not because of theatrical screams or choreographed encounters, but precisely because of its accidental nature. "We didn't even notice until we got home," Samantha wrote. "This scared the crap out of us." A balanced stick, carefully placed, now snapped clean in 2. A deliberate message, not random chance. Critics called it inconclusive. They pointed to the blurry figure, the lack of follow-up, the possibility of a hoax. But others noted the upright gait, the massive proportions, and the untouched, authentic feel of the footage. There's no zoom, no chase, just nature, and something else. Captured in May 2011, this sighting adds to the long list of unexplained encounters in the Pacific Northwest. Downriver Park lies within Washington state, a hotspot for Sasquatch reports going back decades. The area's dense forests and nearby water sources make it a textbook environment for hiding or for vanishing. Overlay, map of Downriver Park, satellite view. No follow-up investigation was conducted. Samantha declined interviews and avoided media attention. That silence only deepened the mystery. Why upload the video at all? No chase, no roar, just silence and the unnerving sense of being toyed with. Did the camera catch what so many claim to have seen? Or is it just another shadow in the trees? Watch it. Decide for yourself whatever they saw that day wasn't a bear, and the footage proves it. As more reports surface with eerily similar encounters, one truth becomes harder to ignore. Bigfoot is real, and closer than we think. Subscribe and follow the tracks with us as we uncover more terrifying encounters from the wild. Something crossed the road. That's how it started. A quiet drive near the woods on Christmas night. Then a shadow, fast, wide, and tall, slipped between the trees. One of the passengers saw it first but couldn't find the words. "I just couldn't say nothing," he muttered, trying to wrap his head around what had just happened. "Watch yourself." They slow the car, eyes scanning the woods.
Yeah. 11. Like, we're good. Okay, it was right here, right? Can I get out and look for prints? Please? Dude, you never get to see this shit. You guys say the door's locked, the window's up.
Was that water? Someone says, unsure of what the figure moved through. The area flooded, but somehow the shape had passed across it, silently, quickly. It didn't make sense. One of them begs to get out. "Can I look for prints?" he asks. You can hear the tension in the group. Someone warns, "Don't open the door," but curiosity pushes against caution. They roll forward slowly. "We're not gonna see it again," someone says, but their eyes stay locked on the tree line. Watch yourself. Then it happens again. A heavy thump, a crack in the brush.
Never gonna see that. You know that, right? You hear it?
Yeah, it's right in there. In there.
"Do you hear that?" one whispers. "Whatever it is, it's back there, watching, not running, just waiting." "Put it in gear," someone says. "If it comes running, go." That's not paranoia. That's instinct. Watch yourself. They listen hard. Branches move. It's not small.
You hear that? You hear it? It's back there. Damn it, I want to go in there so bad, but I don't want to leave again.
Yeah, man, it's not safe. You don't know what those things do.
Someone says, "It was walking like this, making long strides." They still can't believe what they saw. A creature stepping behind a tree, vanishing fast, as if it had done this before.
See, I just couldn't say nothing. I
was like, guys, what is that?
I wish I know which way it was.
It was just walking.
Yeah, but it was like
so fast.
It was behind one of these trees, and then all of a sudden it just went gone, just like that.
As if it knew the forest better than anyone. Suddenly someone points. Footprints. Boom! It went that way, they say. The camera zooms in on one. It's wide, deep. Another sits just a few feet away.
There it is. You see? Big ass footprint. It is like that fucking big. Other one right here.
Not barefoot in freezing December. "They're real," someone says. "Big ass." The disbelief is still raw. Watch yourself. They hear it again, in the distance, then closer.
It's nothing.
A dragging sound or something large shifting its weight. It's not a person hiding, and it's not an animal trying to flee. It's just out there. They don't chase it. They don't even move. But the camera stays focused, waiting for one more glimpse. "Nobody's going to believe us," someone says. "I know." But the footprints are still there, and the sounds haven't stopped. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't a joke.
There was Bigfoot.
We saw Bigfoot.
I got his prints. I'm here.
Did you see?
Oh, Bigfoot.
Nobody's gonna believe us, dude. No one's gonna believe us.
I know. That's why. That's fine.
It was real enough to leave the whole group frozen, caught between fear, awe, and the question that still hangs in the air. What just walked past them in the dark? And why was it so quiet? It's late November in northern Minnesota. The trees are bare, the ground lightly frozen. Most animals are gone or tucked away, but not everything moves with the seasons. A faint rustle, and then, without warning, a figure steps into view. It's fast, dark, leaner than most adult sightings, roughly 5 feet tall. It walks on 2 legs, glancing back briefly, then moves quickly into the trees. The cameraman barely reacts. He's already recording when it appears, possibly scanning the woods for signs of movement. He doesn't call out, "Don't chase." He stays locked on it. As the juvenile turns, its arms swing low. The movement is smooth, not jerky like a human. Its head is slightly forward, no visible neck. The color is dark brown. No clothing, no gear, no signs of a costume. It doesn't look staged. The creature walks behind the trees but doesn't vanish instantly. There's no blur, no distortion. It moves down a slope, following a natural break in the land, likely an animal trail. There's no vocal sound, just the shuffle of snow and dry branches underfoot. Its posture changes slightly as it descends, more hunched now, steady. Then it's gone, hidden behind brush and trees, out of sight. Experts who've reviewed this short clip say the proportions are off for a human. The gait is flat, deliberate. The stride length, compared to the visible brush, is longer than expected for someone that size. No prints were recovered. The ground was partly frozen, but the cameraman claims the same trail had been disturbed earlier that day. Small saplings were bent, and a few branches stacked near the base of a birch tree. The region around this sighting, just south of Chippewa National Forest, has a history of quiet reports. Light knocks at night. Footsteps without a source. But this is one of the few times something was actually caught on camera. Skeptics dismiss it as someone in a suit, but nothing about its behavior supports that. No attempt to be seen, no reaction to being filmed. It simply passed through. Some believe it was a young Sasquatch in migration, moving to lower ground before the worst of the winter set in. Others say it may have been returning to a nearby shelter. But one thing's clear, it wasn't running. It was walking with intent, as if it knew exactly where it was going. This wasn't a chase. There were no close-ups, just 20 seconds of clear, steady footage, enough to suggest that something real moved through those woods that day. No final answer, just one brief moment caught on camera, and a growing belief that the forest still hides more than it reveals. The cold air hung heavy in Provo Canyon that December day, the kind of quiet that blankets the forest just before dusk. A lone hiker, wandering off the beaten path, unknowingly stepped into a moment that would soon stir debate across cryptid communities. The camera captured something, a shape, moving just beyond the trees. The video, posted by Camper Mountain, a small channel with just over 40 subscribers, claimed a striking discovery. A Bigfoot sighting off-trail, dated December 2, 2012. This is most likely the same Bigfoot spotted a month ago in Provo Canyon, the uploader noted simply, leaving the question open for viewers to decide. Watch yourself as the footage shows a shadowy figure, tall and broad, moving deliberately through thick undergrowth. The figure's gait is heavy, measured, almost purposeful. The canopy filters scarce light, making every movement tense and uncertain. Provo Canyon has long been a hotspot for cryptid enthusiasts, with previous reports sparking interest and skepticism in equal measure. The forest here, dense and steep, offers both cover and challenge to those who claim to have encountered the elusive creature. The consistency of sightings over time adds weight. Could this be the same creature returning to familiar grounds? Critics argue the figure could be a hiker or an animal caught at a distance. blurred by the low resolution and difficult terrain. Yet believers point to the slow, almost unnatural movement, too deliberate for a deer, too large for a human moving casually off trail. The lingering question, what was it doing there, so close, yet so elusive? The silence of the forest is broken only by the rustling leaves, as if the woods themselves hold their breath. No sudden chase, no confrontations, just a brief glimpse that leaves more questions than answers. The mystery of Provo Canyon persists, the legend growing with every new sighting. No roar, no direct encounter, only the unsettling feeling that something watches from just beyond the frame. What do you see in this shadow? Could it be proof that the legend walks these mountains still? Or is it something else entirely? The night was supposed to be peaceful, Christmas 2014 in northern Minnesota, but peace gave way to something far more primal. A shadow moved around the house and yard, a figure too large, too deliberate to be dismissed. The family's dog, alerted by the presence, charged into the dark, barking wildly, only to retreat in fear and confusion. The camera captures it all, blurred, grainy, but unmistakable. A towering silhouette, thick with hair, pacing slowly just beyond the porch light. The tension is palpable, the kind that tightens the chest and makes every breath shallow. The family watches from inside, frozen between fear and fascination. Watch yourself as the figure steps into view, the dog's frantic barking echoing into the night.
Oh my God. No way.
That can't be.
What the hell? Oh my God, are you getting this?
I think so.
Oh my God, a voice whispers, disbelief heavy in the air. Did you see that? Someone's mind is around. The figure moves with an eerie calm, its presence commanding the cold night. The dog's chase ends quickly. It runs back inside, tail tucked, whimpering, a clear warning that this is no ordinary intruder. The family's unease grows, their eyes glued to the fading figure disappearing into the woods. Voices tremble as they murmur, "It's really big. No way. I can't believe it." The unseen creature is more than a story now. It is real, standing just outside their door. The woods seem to close in around the house, the silence after the figure's retreat almost heavier than the moments before. Watch yourself as the family debates whether to investigate, but fear wins out.
We're real scared of them. Rap! Stay here, Rap! You stay here!
The dog remains alert, ears perked, growling at shadows. Footsteps crunch in the snow, too heavy and slow to be human. The atmosphere thickens, each sound amplified in the frigid air. There is no chase, no roar, only the steady, chilling sensation of being watched. The family's voices drop to hushed tones, sharing stories and nervous laughter, trying to mask the fear creeping into their bones. "We're really scared of them," one admits, breaking the fragile calm. Watch yourself as sounds grow closer again. Soft thuds and low growls barely audible.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We better get back inside, guys.
Yeah.
The dog, now reluctant, stays near the door, refusing to venture outside again. The family finally decides to retreat indoors, locking doors, windows, hearts pounding with the weight of an unseen visitor. This encounter leaves no dramatic chase or loud confrontation, just a silent giant's presence felt in the snow-laden woods of Minnesota on a cold Christmas night. The family's unease lingers, their normal holiday forever shadowed by the creature's quiet visit. What haunts the northern forests on silent winter nights? Was this a one-time visitor, or does the legend walk alongside them still, Unseen but never far. The answers remain buried beneath the snow and whispers of a Christmas unlike any other. Mississippi. Late October 2013. The air is damp, the ground soft, covered in old leaves and patches of standing water. Just outside of Tunica, about 9 miles east, a man named Josh Highcliffe walks through the swampy woods. His camera is running. Watch yourself. Between the trees, a figure crouches low near the base of a dead trunk. It's easy to miss. Dark, still, blending into the backgrounds. But then it moves. It reaches up and starts pulling bark off the tree. Big pieces, ripped off with strength. The motions are careful, not rushed. Josh stays silent. The camera doesn't zoom, it's a wide shot. The figure doesn't seem to notice it's being watched. The shape looks large, broad shoulders, thick arms, covered in dark hair from head to toe. It stands in a shallow swamp, a few feet below where Josh is filming from. The distance makes it hard to guess height, but even crouched, it looks big. It tears off another strip of bark, exposing the wood underneath. This isn't random. It could be looking for food, bugs, larvae, just like other sightings describe. Watch yourself. Then it rises. Fully upright. That's when it becomes clear. This is tall. Much taller than expected. The upper body stretches up. The arms hang low. No sign of clothing. Just a solid, natural shape. Josh reacts fast. The clip ends as he turns and runs. No shouts. No chase. Just fear and silence. Watch yourself. Later, Josh uploaded the video online, hoping someone could tell him what he saw. It didn't take long for the footage to spread. Most people called it a skunk ape, the southern version of Bigfoot, often seen in swampy areas across Mississippi and Florida. Skeptics said it could be a person in costume. Others said maybe a bear, but the way it stood, the way it moved, it didn't match either theory. And who would wear a suit like that, alone, in water, with no one else around? Watch yourself. What sets this video apart is how steady it is. No shaky camera, no fast cuts. Just a man filming quietly from a hill, watching something strange tear at a tree. And the creature never looks up. It never checks its surroundings. That calm focus, that's not easy to fake. The skunk ape has been part of Mississippi folklore for generations, described as large, hairy, and swamp-dwelling. Stories date back to the early 20th century. This clip, from 2013, might be one of the clearest on record. Josh never went back to the spot. No footprints were collected. No second sighting followed. Just 20 seconds of footage. And the feeling that something unknown was out there. No answers. No roar. Just one long look at a creature that shouldn't exist, but might. What if everything we know about Sasquatch is only half the story? And what if the real answers aren't found in gadgets, traps, or night vision cameras, but in ancestral knowledge, spiritual connection, and stillness? In the untouched wilds of northwestern Alberta, one man continues to explore that possibility. Meet Robert Judd, the voice behind the Swan Lake Bigfoot YouTube channel. A seasoned Cree tracker with a legacy stretching back to 1972, his first Sasquatch encounter, Robert doesn't hunt these beings. He builds relationships with them. And that's exactly what makes his story different. For Robert, tracking Sasquatch is not about capturing proof for headlines.
Robert, Hello from Michigan. Thank you for all your knowledge and help. Angie. And musical medium. She's got in brackets, musical medium.
It's about understanding the old ways, the subtle exchanges between forest and human, and the belief that these beings are not monsters, but relatives, quiet guardians of forgotten boundaries. In one of his most haunting and powerful moments, Robert shares a photograph taken near an aged totem pole.
I really believe this is a little baby Bigfoot, and I'm going to share this with you. I've got 3 or 4 still images that I want to share with you that I was able to get.
Deep within Sasquatch territory. At first glance, it's a quiet woodland scene, but then something reveals itself. Hidden just beside the base of the totem is what Robert believes to be a baby Sasquatch, thumb in its mouth, its body nestled close to a much larger figure, likely its mother.
To pick up on it, but I just want to show you this little guy. And all I did was the diffuse glow filter.
Watch closely as Robert slowly enhances the image on screen, shifting contrast and light to reveal the subtle shape of the young figure beside the totem.
And a little bit of noise. It's called a noise filter, which takes away the pixels, like the squareness, the square pixels, and kind of rounds everything.
The image didn't come from a hunt. It wasn't baited or chased. It happened during a quiet walk to one of his gifting sites, simple spaces where Robert leaves feathers, marbles, and small toys for the beings he's come to know over decades.
To the stills that I'm able to get, and then the little journey it takes before it gets to you. It's the filters that are helping us see these things a little bit better, right?
And sometimes something changes. Sometimes the gifts are rearranged. Other times they vanish. One day, a perfectly stacked tower of stones stood where none had been before. On another, small barefoot prints appeared in the damp soil. No child could have made them. Not that deep. Not alone. This photo, though, this was different. To Robert, it wasn't evidence.
The upper lip, and I swear, this little Sasquatch, I think this is a baby Sasquatch, sucking on his thumb. And here's...
It was an offering of trust, that a young Sasquatch would be visible, even slightly, beside a sacred totem pole meant more than just presence. It meant permission. He believes the totem itself, a spiritual marker and guardian in Cree tradition.
I have a little something to share with you guys here. It's a little video. I'm going to take you all back to the Bigfoot totem pole.
Played a role. These poles aren't decorative. They're boundary keepers, story holders. Robert often says that what we think of as totems in indigenous culture aren't just artistic. They're contracts with the land, agreements honored by more than humans.
Who's been around children, little kids, little babies. That's what they do. That pointer sticks up out straight and their little thumb.
Listen in as Robert explains how the totem pole's energy may have created a moment of safety, where even the youngest of the Sasquatch clan felt safe enough to be seen. Robert refers to this group of Sasquatch as the Seven Creeks Clan, a name given not by lore, but through years of observation, dreams, and tracks. He believes this clan knows him by him. They've accepted his presence. And that's why the image matters. It's not high resolution. It's not flashy.
Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. This little guy's, he's there. And if you notice, I still see his little right arm and...
But it's real. Just like the Swan Lake Bigfoot channel. No jump scares. No exaggeration. Just quiet footage, still frames, and honest narration by a man who walks softly and listens deeply. His goal isn't to convince the world. His goal is to protect the bond. He doesn't chase. He doesn't provoke. He waits.
I couldn't see it, right? When you see something in your camera and you're looking in the same place there and it's not there, but here it is in your camera. Okay, it's not there. It's a very...
And through that waiting, this moment arrived. A baby Sasquatch, thumb in mouth, beside a totem. An image that seems almost too simple, until you realize what it took to get there. Decades of respect, dozens of gifts, countless quiet steps. Hear Robert reflect on why this moment wasn't about evidence.
The orbs. That orb, there was an orb flying around that tree while I was there. And then, of course, I was...
It was about being trusted enough to witness something sacred. To many, Sasquatch is still a myth. But for those who've seen what Robert has seen, it's a memory, a living presence that doesn't need to be proven, only honored. And that's the mission of Swan Lake Bigfoot. Not to win over skeptics, but to show the world what becomes possible when we slow down and listen.
More strange occurrences and things. It's like it's been 5 for 5. These strange anomalies and strange things are taking place back up in.
Could this image be what it seems? A baby Sasquatch leaning into the protection of its clan beside a spiritual totem? Or is it something else? A message, a mirror, a mystery meant only for those who pay attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because in this forest, stories don't scream, they whisper.
So we will get into the video here. Again, everybody take care. Thank you. And if there's anybody else, so everybody take care. If there's any new subscribers, thank you for being here. And I will see you in the trees real soon. Bye for now.
In the heart of Ireland's misty woodlands, where rolling fog drapes ancient trees and the landscape feels untouched by time, something stirs. Strange sounds echo through the forests. Distant shadows move against the tree line, and old legends refuse to die quietly.
Pandemic that we're currently in, obviously squatching is restricted.
This is where the story begins. Welcome to the Irish Bigfoot Research Organization YouTube channel, a dedicated platform for investigating cryptid encounters across Ireland's wild terrain. Founded and led by a passionate field researcher who's spent years chasing the trail of Ireland's most elusive creature.
This is a fantastic area, and it is my local area. There was a sighting here.
This channel isn't about myths. It's about evidence. It's about boots on the ground, cameras rolling, and the relentless pursuit of truth. The video we're exploring today, Walking with the Wild Man,
but yeah, it's all water willow, as you can see, mostly water willow trees, and here there's some silver birch knocking about.
Is one of the most immersive experiences the channel has ever released. This isn't just a sighting report. It's a deeply personal story, filmed on location, capturing a full-circle journey into what may be Ireland's very own version of Bigfoot, known by locals as the Wild Man. It began with a 2017 encounter.
It's just on the subject of lockdown and those things that we're chatting about there. Just at the beginning of lockdown, for the major restrictions.
A towering, dark figure standing in the bog near the researcher's home. The figure vanished into the tree line, but its presence lingered. Since then, he's returned to this location time and time again, documenting odd footprints, broken branches well above human height, and vocalizations that defy classification.
It was quite a bit away, as you can see now. It was about 800 feet away from myself.
As he begins his walk back into the original sighting area, you can sense the energy shift. The environment grows quieter. He pauses briefly, describing that first unforgettable moment. It was just there, watching, tall, still. Watch for yourself, one of the eeriest re-entries into the Wild Man zone.
That is the log sticking up in the photograph, and then it was off in the distance now where we are.
The woods here are dense, remote. Sound behaves strangely, echoing in unexpected ways. The deeper he goes, the more he finds. Structures that resemble stick formations, possible gifting behavior, and that eerie sense of being watched. This isn't just story-driven content.
Got that. But I got back.
It's real investigation captured through years of fieldwork. At one point, he stumbles across a strange structure, not natural, not man-made in any ordinary sense. Two massive limbs are twisted into an arch, with a thick log wedged vertically into the center of the formation. He examines it quietly, filming up close, pointing out that it's been placed intentionally.
It's just getting it lined up, but if I keep the camera down low, see on the left hand side of the screen there.
Watch closely. Strange structure hidden deep in the woods. This moment feels heavy. The wind picks up, the birds go silent, and he admits it feels like he's walked into someone's territory. There's even a moment where a distant thump is picked up by the camera's audio. No clear source in sight. Throughout Walking with the Wild Man, you'll witness firsthand what makes this region a cryptid hotspot.
If you haven't got something genuine to say, don't say it. And again, many people, unfortunately.
You'll hear from the researcher himself as he recounts the unexplained events that pulled him deeper into the mystery. His voice isn't dramatic. It's honest, measured, and grounded in experience. In a later scene, he shares one of the most compelling pieces of visual evidence. A still image from a trail cam placed just yards from the earlier structure. The image reveals a tall, shadowy figure positioned behind a tree.
For the simple reason that I don't want people flocking here. Don't say there's no Bigfoots in Ireland if you haven't seen one, or you haven't been here to conclude that.
With an awkward, unnatural stance and mass, he overlays this figure with height markers and estimates that it easily stands over 7 feet. No known Irish wildlife fits the dimensions or behavior seen in the footage. Don't miss this possible trail cam footage of the figure itself. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, Walking with the Wild Man is more than just a video. It's a case file.
Most men are 5'10" to 6 foot tall average, and that would mean that 2 foot of them would be out of the water.
A mystery and a story unfolding in real time. And the Irish Bigfoot Research Organization is committed to uncovering the truth, no matter how long it takes. This isn't content made for shock value. It's grounded, patient, thought-provoking, and it deserves your attention if you're serious about cryptid research. What do you think the Wild Man is? A surviving relic from the past?
And I just came off a trail there, actually, I did find one on before. I've never actually done a live feed.
Or something not meant to be found? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this ongoing investigation. Because out here in the wild, the story's just beginning.
I'm a great believer in real research. So, if you're not a great believer in real research,